Hello everyone, my name is Don, the movie reviewer, and today we are going to be talking about Mandy.
Exceed the cosmic darkness.
It glowed from within, strange and eternal.
This movie stars Nicolas Cage and Andrea Riseborough. Nicolas Cage plays Red Miller, and Andrea Riseborough plays Mandy Bloom. I feel like this movie has three different storylines in it, and the first storyline is called The Shadow Mountains. I love the Shadow Mountains storyline in this movie. It is my favorite because it works on all levels. The directing was great, the cinematography was great, the music was great, and the performances from Nicolas Cage and Andrea Riseborough as a couple playing Red Miller and Mandy Bloom was great as well. There was one intimate scene where Mandy Bloom was telling Red Miller a story about her childhood with her father, and I feel like it perfectly illustrated who Mandy Bloom was as a character. She felt like an earth child who would never harm a living, breathing soul, not even a bug or an animal. And the Red Miller character, played by Nicolas Cage, I enjoyed him because Nicolas Cage gave a very subdued performance in a good way. He wasn't all woo as he usually is, which we'll get to that later. But I love the Red Miller character because of that subdued performance. And I was so afraid. I thought that Nicolas Cage wasn't even going to be in the movie. I thought it was like one of those situations where you have a high-profile actor in the movie, you put them on the poster, and they're not even really in the movie. They're barely in it. That's what I thought at first, but we'll get to that later. The second storyline in this movie is called Children of the New Dawn, and I enjoyed this one as well. It's my second favorite storyline in this movie. It feels like a Charles Manson biopic mixed with Children of the Corn with a little bit of Hellraiser sprinkled in there, and I liked it.
We'll tear your soul apart.
I thought that the main cult leader, Jeremiah Sand, played by Lennis Roche, was great. Lennis Roche he delivered a fantastic performance as Jeremiah Sand. I didn't like the character as a person, but I liked the character because of the performance that the actor gave. And the cult was just very weird, and the little Hellraiser things were weird. I enjoyed it. I also felt the emotion that Jeremiah Sand had towards the Mandy Bloom character is very believable. And also, Children of the New Dawn was very funny in most parts because you have these background characters who don't really get any dialogue, but they have these little quirks that give them personality, which was great. So I enjoyed Children of the New Dawn. The third storyline in this movie is called Mandy, and it's my least favorite storyline in here because it just feels like some grindhouse revenge fantasy bullshit. And it was what I was expecting because within the context or the narrative of the story, with how it progresses, where else could it have gone? So it made sense, but Nicolas Cage gets to do his woo thing and be crazy. He's not like exaggerated crazy as he usually does. It's kind of toned down crazy, and he does do his leaving Las Vegas. He does do his leaving Las Vegas drinking like a fish thing in here, which I enjoyed. When we see the Hellraiser characters show up again within the Mandy storyline, I feel like they were very weak. I feel like those characters did not need to be here. You could have easily taken them out of the movie. It wouldn't have changed anything. They're just easily defeated, and it's very boring to me. And it just feels like a video game where you just reach the new level and you move on. Overall, I really enjoyed the Mandy movie. I would give Mandy, starring Nicolas Cage and Andrea Riseborough and Lennis Roche, because this is their movie, along with the director, and the music in this movie was great. I give Mandy an A minus. I give it an A minus because it worked on every level: cinematography, acting, directing, music. The story was great within the first two storylines, the Shadow Mountains and Children of the New Dawn. But the Mandy storyline, even though I knew where the movie was going, I still didn't like the Mandy storyline because the creatures, I think, felt useless by the end. But other than that, I really had fun with this movie. I enjoyed it, and it's an original film, which is also a plus in my book. So I really enjoyed this, surprisingly. And well, that's all I have to say. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.
Crazy evil.